guys a little, how many of you know what the real purpose of the internet was originally?
Military.
What was it though? I can tell you this because I was there, I was part of the team that was developing this, but I'm not Al Gore. The real reason for the internet was command and control. During Vietnam, when a center was taken out, command and control was lost. So somebody came up with the internet, some propeller heads from Palo Alto, California, and the military said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. So what happens is when a control center gets taken out, it can immediately be assumed by another control center in another area. We were able to control things from up to 1,500 miles away. And that was back in the early 70s. So it's really a cool technology. Now, the internet has changed, and it's changed so much that now this is the internet. If you don't have one now, you will. If you don't have one of these now, a smartphone that can connect to the internet, that can help you find data, no matter where you are, you will. Because the thing that's going to happen next is there will be no more servers that you will control. So I'm losing my job as a server expert. But I'm taking that up by helping people get to the cloud where they have needs for servers. So for as little, I was telling you a little while ago about my instant office. What that is I can take 5 people, put them on the internet with the right connection speed, and have them access their data. They can back up their computers or their handhelds or their iPads or whatever device they've got. They can access that data from almost anywhere they're located. And as long as the speed is of sufficient speed, you can go ahead and upload data and download data. What does upload mean? It means I'm taking data from my computer and putting it into the cloud. Download means that I'm going to your site and I want to see your pretty pictures of how you fix a car. So I go to their site and I take that picture. I can either look at it statically and just page through and see what's there, or I can say, you know, I don't have the time to look at it right now, so I'm going to download it to my computer or to my handheld device, and I'll look at these pictures later. A good use of these kinds of technologies is for Roz, who wants to show a house to somebody. She's at a place, but you know, the room isn't really big enough, so she pops out her iPad. So instead of having to physically go somewhere, you can actually show a device or a place or a whatever. Another good use of that would be for like Steve Hirsch. He's got companies that he's done work with, and they want to say, well, you know, you say you do a great job in a kitchen. He did my kitchen, it looks really great. But I don't really want him bringing customers to my place. But I wouldn't mind him taking pictures of my kitchen and then saying, Don, here's what we can do to your kitchen. This is what Keith's ugly kitchen looked like before. And now look at the stellar job we did with it now. So that's another good use. Dr. Lou, when people are in the laboratory and they're laying on their back and he's got his hands in their mouth, he can take pictures of what he's doing. Although that'd be pretty ugly. But if somebody really wants to see what his procedure is and how he treats kids, for example, that's his forte. He's really good with children. Why not video that? Put that up on your website. And then a person that's got one of these things, they can be sitting in your office on a public network, not your personal network, and they can say, wow, I can see why kids would love him. He's kind, he's generally soft-spoken, he takes his time.
Good idea.
So now the next part of my presentation is really for you guys. Everybody has questions about what the cloud. I just gave you a real short history of how it was developed. But now I know everybody has questions about the cloud because people will come up to me and say, what is this cloud thing? So what I want to do is I want to find out from you what you think you know about the cloud or what you'd like to know about the cloud. Because in January, I'm going to have a seminar in front of a bunch of people, hopefully, and I'm going to explain to them the way I understand the cloud, which is different than the way you understand the cloud. So I want to kind of merge that together. So does anybody have any questions about the cloud? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've purposely bought a couple of different realtor-specific softwares that can be on my laptop rather than internet access because I have enough things that I pay monthly for the rest of my life for.
Mm-hmm.
So, is
By
that
the way,
going to go
when I was
away?
doing it, it was free.
Pardon?
When I was using the internet, it was free.
Uh-huh.
And then civilians got into it, decided they had to have a money value with it. That's why it was costing me. But the government, we used to give it away for free.
Uh-huh.
So you have the software that you want to put in the cloud, or you're thinking of not putting it in the cloud.
No, I'm just asking you, you're saying it's going to go away, so does that mean there will no longer be software that you can...
Oh yeah, the software will not be on your computer though, it'll be in the cloud. And that's what I was saying, as long as you have a fast enough internet connection, and by that, I'm talking about at least 1 meg down and 1 meg up. 1 meg, and the reason for the 1 meg is because with one device, that seems to be the bandwidth, they call it a pipe. That's the best low end of trading information up and down.
So does that mean that they're going to stop making software that lives on your hard drive?
In the next 3 to 5 years, yes. You will no longer, and I'm not saying all software is going to go away because there are people like me that refuse to give my entire control to the internet. I have developed what's called a hybrid cloud solution. I have my information here locally, but I back it up to the cloud. And if I can't get, if I'm not in my office, which somebody will attest that I'm never there, but I need to get to my information. Right now what I do is I get my email, I dial into my server, which is sitting in my office, and I get my email. I can get data from there from past clients. I had a client call me up, do you remember how I got into this program? Well, actually, yeah, I did, because I had a document. And I gave them the document, but it was paper, and of course they lost it. So the idea for the hybrid cloud, and that's probably what you're going to see first. The hybrid cloud is a combination of you getting to the internet, you storing data on the internet, but still keeping control of your information locally. One of the other questions that comes up a lot is how safe is the cloud? Let me ask you this, how safe is your bank? The internet connection that most people use, the encryption, is double what a bank uses. It's much stronger. It'll take 40,000 years for somebody to break that encryption, unless you disable your firewalls and you allow somebody to come in and abuse your computer, which they will. I mean, there are people in Europe that have no job. So what do? They invent viruses. They want your information. They want your credit card number. They want to know how much money you have in the bank, and then they want to know how to get to the bank to take it out. And that's a fact. People, and a lot of people don't know it because there's 40 billion people using the internet, and maybe 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people that are actually trying to do this on a regular basis.
That's why
they have a
$1 million,
concept.
right?
I'm sorry?
That's why they left me $1 million, and if I click on here, I can start claiming.
And then you can see my sister.
Right.
Yeah. That's exactly what. I get those all the time too. What's going to happen though, one of the nice things about Azure Cloud is you will no longer have to worry about antivirus, right? Wrong. You'll always have to worry about it. Because now there's viruses for this. There's viruses for iPad. And of course people don't know about it because they're not aware of it. And that's my job, is to make you aware of it. So in addition to saying there's no more servers, you will have a desktop, and I'm going to keep my desktop, and when I quit making them, I'm just going to buy 1 million hard drives and clone my hard drives. So that I will always have that information available to me. Now, 30 years ago, when I first started in the IT industry, or when Bill Gates decided he was going to come out with that first laptop, or first computer, I mean, probably 5 years after that, he started talking about the internet being the cloud source, where everything was going to be stored. It was going to be the paperless office, and I'm sure you've all heard about that, and I'm sure you still have paper in your office. He was right about one thing: the cloud is the future. The cloud is where everybody's going to put information that they want to share. Your responsibility is making sure you put it up there, but you keep it safe. Nobody in the world can keep your stuff safe as well as you can. If you have information that you want to keep safe, you make sure you safeguard it. Yes, ma'am.
So can we get rid of our laptop computers and our desktop computers and just go with an iPad or something equivalent?
You can. Right now, desktops are the lowest selling part of hardware in the IT industry. The trend is for devices like that, they're up something like 30 or 40%. Laptops come in second, and then desktops are at a low, all-time low. You can find a desktop now for $300 that's very powerful.
I was told though that you have, that the iPad doesn't work as an independent device. You have to have a server or a laptop.
And
or
the
something
server's in the cloud.
to connect to.
So when I connect to when I use this thing and I say I want to go, what does a server do? Let me ask you that. What is your understanding of what a server does? Yeah.
It stores data, it contains my programs,
Well, it usually never contains programs. That's a misconception. It usually holds the data for your programs. The programs are on your laptop, or on your desktop. I have Office, right? I've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and if I don't have a server, I leave it there. If I'm in a server environment, because I'm a great IT administrator, I know you're going to break your computer someday, I back your data up. But your data resides on my server, and the reason I back it up is because I already put your data on my server. You just see it like it's reading it in your computer, but actually the data's over here.